Hey everybody, welcome back to the Firehouse Chef. I'm still your host, Ryan McKay. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about pepper. Yeah, it's pepper.
Alright, so why are we talking about pepper? I mean, does it really deserve its own episode? I mean, we all know it's the king of spices and it's often married to the hip to salt, but I mean, is it the multi-tool that salt is? Really, it's not. Does it have one of the 5 basic tastes that salt does? It really doesn't. So you have to ask yourself, what does it bring to the table? Well, before we answer that, I thought we would learn about what peppercorns really are. Now, these peppercorns are actually a berry that grow in clusters on vines native to India in a plant called the tropical pepper bush. And depending on what stage of growth they're picked at and how they're prepared, whether they're sun-dried or they have the outer shell removed or they sit in a brining solution, we all know what that is, that gives us different aspects of our favorite king spice, pepper. Alright guys, pepper, and I mean freshly ground pepper's got a very distinctive flavor profile, often described as woodsy or floral nature with some subtle heat. Subtle being the key word here, because let's not kid ourselves. Pepper will never be the star. It's kind of viewed as those backstage helpers that are always there to provide a little extra depth to the meal. But you got to be very careful on how much you use, because it can easily overwhelm a meal. And depending what type of pepper you use, you didn't just think there was black pepper, did you? Alright guys, let's start a quick tour of the peppercorn family. Let's of course start with everything that everybody's familiar with, and that's black peppercorns, which most people are familiar with what it looks like when it's already pre-ground. I'm going to try and shy away from that, and I'll explain that a little bit later, but this is definitely the workhorse of all peppers. It's a flavor profile everybody's familiar with. It's easily found and produced everywhere. Let's move on to something you may or may not be familiar with, and that's white peppercorns, which are a little bit milder in taste. And they are often mature berries that have been dried and rubbed from their skins. And they're often called for in sauces or soups where you want the pepper to be there but not to be seen. Remember that, a little bit more mild. One that's a little more difficult to find and has a very slightly sour taste, similar to capers, are green berries. Now these green peppercorns are either brined or freeze-dried and have that slightly sour character that I explained. A little bit more difficult to find. Think specialty stores like Whole Foods and Fresh Market. Red pepper, very, very similar to black in my opinion, just a little bit deeper of a flavor. Just as difficult to find as green and prepared and produced very much the same. And then last but not least is typically you'll find at major supermarkets a medley of all of them together. And this just offers something, if you want the pepper to be there but be a little bit more pronounced than regular black, I definitely recommend this. Da, 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 da. Let's talk about the different ways you can actually grind the peppercorns. One great way is through a spice or a coffee grinder, which produces that nice fine powder that everybody's familiar with. But keep in mind that when you grind them, those essential oils have the tendency to evaporate very quickly, and if they sit out, they're exposed to light, they degrade as well. So try and put them into an airtight container, away, alone in the dark, and they're good for about a week or so. A mortar and pestle is great for cracking open those great big peppercorns to allow them to leak those essential oils into a sauce that you may want to put on top of a protein. But my favorite way of going about it is through an adjustable grinder via either a permanent one or a disposable one. These allow you to differentiate the size of the peppercorns as they come out, and of course you can control the height in which they come out and how much comes out instead of grabbing it through your hands and having it slip out. A couple of different ways. Of course the best way is through the grinder myself, just so long as it's fresh. Alright everybody, that's the episode on pepper, and please, if there's anything I want you to take away from this episode is that you need to use fresh pepper, and if that's all you got, great. That's really all I cared about. Now as far as this episode and any previous episode, please visit this website here and come leave a comment for me. Let me know how I'm doing, and of course there's more than just these videos that I'm making. I'm making information that you guys can take it home as far as stocking your pantry and your staples at your fire station. As far as what tools to use and links and other ideas that are all about family-based things. And that's what this show is really all about. It's about bringing good foods, good eats, and sitting people around it so they can talk and get to know each other a little bit better. So please visit all that for me. You can always email me at this email right here. But stay in touch with me. Let me know how I'm doing, because I'm doing this for you guys. See ya. 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, thank you for watching The Firehouse Chef. This is our episode on peppers. What the heck? These are not guys, I asked for peppercorns, not for peppers. Can anybody do their job? Even a monkey can do this job. Oh, Miss Lee, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Can you come back, please? No, seriously, I didn't mean the monkey thing. That was just a joke. I mean, I really value you.